In this video, I'm going to talk about what prospects to target, and I'm going to talk about money math. So this is day number 3 of the 30 days to $3,000 in monthly recurring revenue challenge. Let me first talk about what I did today, and then I'll go into the specifics. So today was a busy day. It's actually 11 p.m. right now, which is quite late for me since I always wake up at 5 a.m. But let's get through this. So first, I finished up that direct mail piece that I talked about. I'll talk more about direct mail in general tomorrow. Got that done. I started list building, so creating a list of prospects to contact, and I actually hired a VA on Upwork to do that for me. I'm going to go into how I did that in a few seconds here. And then I bought some equipment so that I can do the direct mail, and I bought some equipment that'll make it easier and faster for me to actually send out the direct mail. So let me first just talk really briefly about the virtual assistant and how I did that and why I did that. So I used to do everything myself, so I find all the addresses, the contacts myself, but I realized that it's not really a high value activity. It can be done for very, very cheap. So I hired a VA. He's from India. He works for I think it's $3.50 per hour. So there's no reason, if you value your time, to be doing that sort of work, unless you really do not have any money. But most people have more money, or let me rephrase that. If you have more money than you have time, definitely invest in a virtual assistant. Okay, so the way I did it, actually, I've worked with this person before, so I just shot him a direct mail or a Skype message. And what I like to do is always include videos, because with virtual assistants, they're highly intelligent oftentimes, but they speak another language, so it's very easy for there to be communication or miscommunication. So having a video and really explaining everything step by step is the way to go. So I created this video with Soapbox. It's a software by Vist. It's free, which makes it really simple to record your screen and then share that recording. So I sent over the recording, and I showed him how I create lists. And actually, I'm going to jump in here and just, whoops, let me just jump in here and show you how I actually create the list and who I target. So this here is a Google Sheet. On the left-hand column, what I did is I pasted the 300 biggest cities in the United States. All of these cities have over 100,000 people. So these are medium-sized to big cities. And I'm contacting the top 3 med spas in each city. When I say top 3, it's the med spas that appear in the Google 3-pack or the Google Maps 3-pack. So let me just type Los Angeles, California medical spa. You'll see that in the map section there are 3 exactly. So these are probably the most visited med spas in that area, because they're the most clicked on med spas in that area, because Google lists them first. So they can use our conversion rate optimization the most. If someone's in some page in the back of Google, even if we help them, or I don't know why I say we, even if I help them, they won't really benefit because they're not getting that much traffic in the first place. Okay, so that's the people who we target. Let me go back to the presentation here. I also bought some equipment for the direct mail. Spent around almost $600, almost $500 on stamps. So this is going to be enough to send out 400 direct mailers. And then I bought a label maker machine, some paper, and a stamp or a stamp machine for the return address. And typically, up until now, I've handwritten everything, but it takes a lot of time, and I'm going to split test the label maker with the handwritten method. It's always good to split test things because if it turns out that the response rate is similar, then I'm just going to do label makers because it does take a long time to write out addresses by hand, especially if you're a slow writer like me. Okay, so I think we went over what I did today. One thing that I'd like to touch on is money math. So kind of why I'm targeting, so I'm targeting 3 spas per city, and we have 300 cities, so that's 900 in total. And I kind of want to tell you or show you how I came up with that number. So I like to call this money math. It's basically where you take how much money you want to make and then reverse engineer the actions that are necessary to achieve that goal. So we start out with $3,000 in MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. Our price point for the product, for this product, it's our service, it's going to be about $500 a month. We might adjust it a little down or up depending on the response, but right now we're doing $500, so we divide that by 500 to see how many clients we need. So we need 6 clients in general. Well, for every client consultation, or for every client, probably need 3 consultations to get one. So it's a 1/3 close rate because not everyone that I get on the phone will actually buy from me. So saying, so if it's 1/3 close rate, we're going to divide that by 0.33, and that leaves us with 18. So we need 18 consultation calls, or I need 18 consultation calls to get to $3,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue. So how are we going to get to 18 consultations? Well, we're doing direct mail, sending out a bunch of letters, and a certain percentage will respond. Response rates are usually between 3 and 5%. It can be higher. I hope ours will be higher with the direct mail piece that I wrote, but let's be conservative here. So let's say the response rate is 4%. So that's divided by 0.04. That equals 450. So we need to send out 450 letters. Now, if you can remember, we're actually creating a prospect list of 900. And the reason we're doing that, and the reason we're sending out 900 letters, is because whatever you estimate, stuff will happen. You'll miscalculate things, so you want to add a margin of safety. And if you follow Grant Cardone, you know his 10x rule. He basically says whatever effort you think it requires to get something, multiply it by 10. Well, I think that's a little extreme. I think 2x is enough. So if we multiply 450 by 2, we got 900. So that's ultimately what we end up with as our action goal. 900 letters. And another thing that we need to account for is timing. So let me see if I can create a new sheet. So we have 30 days, or I have 30 days. It's 15. This is 30. 3 days are already over, so nothing's happened. And I read that it takes 7, here it says ships in 5 to 7 days, these postage stamps. I actually went to the USPS office today and they were out of 70-cent stamps, which we need. So I had to order them. So it takes 7 days for it to arrive. So the first 10 days will have nothing. This will be dead zone. So we might want to, or we're definitely going to do some other outreach methods in that time. But only on day number 10, we can really start sending messages or sending out direct mail. And then it takes another 2 to 3 days for them to arrive. So really, the direct mail won't start until the 15th of July. And then we want to make sure that we get all the revenue or get all the clients before the 30 days end. So if we send out mails or packages on the 30th, we won't be able to capitalize on the consultations that they generate. So really the last day where we can send stuff out, where it will still have an impact, is probably on the 25th. So it only really gives us a time span of, what is that, 10 days from the 15th to the 25th to send out packages or mailers. So from 900, where we're going to send out about 90 per day. And we can round that up to 100. So our goal is to be sending out 100 per day. That's the goal as soon as we get it. And until then, we'll do all the preparation. So we're going to create that big list. And in tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk a little more about direct mail, why we're using direct mail, and the advantages of it. I hope you learned something. If you have questions, go ahead, ask them in the comments. If you're new here, go ahead, subscribe so you get that next video. And yeah, see you tomorrow.